Pubcast. If you're not listening to Pubcast, the terrorists are winning. That's what Jay Moore says.
Welcome to the Pubcast. Sit down and enjoy a pint.
Okay, this is the Midnight Run episode of the Pubcast. Allison and Rob join me to break down this really sort of overlooked classic. Charles Grodin died on May 18th. And a lot of people were talking about their favorite Grodin movie, and Midnight Run seemed to come up over and over again. So instead of doing what I had planned, I decided to break down Midnight Run, and it turns out everyone likes it. It's often forgotten and overlooked, and it seems to be left off of everyone's list of their favorite movies. But when you bring it up, it seems like everyone gets a smile on their face and can quote their favorite lines. It's got Grodin and Niro both at the height of their powers. And it's simple, it's fun, it's super underrated. It's Midnight Run.
I love to travel by train.
Oh, yeah? What do you think this is, a class trip?
A tough ex-cop.
Are you always this angry?
A sensitive criminal.
Oh, no, come on. Cigarettes are killers.
Why are we running away from the FBI?
Because I got to bring it back myself, otherwise I won't get my money.
They can't fly. They also suffer from acrophobia and claustrophobia.
I'll tell you what, if you don't cooperate, you're going to suffer from fistophobia.
They're seeing America the hard way.
Why would you eat that?
Doesn't taste good.
At gunpoint.
Whoa, what did you do before you did this? What qualified you for this?
He's gaining.
No kidding. He's flying. Of course he's gaining.
Robert De Niro.
It is truly in your best interest to just relax.
I'm totally relaxed.
Charles Grodin.
$2, that's all you're going to leave?
That's 15%.
That's 13%. These people depend on tips for a living.
From the director of Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run.
Midnight Run. This is, I think, going to be our shortest ever no-nonsense plot.
Wow.
An accountant is chased by bounty hunters, the FBI, and the mafia after jumping bail. Fine, great.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That's all.
So,
I guess all you need.
Not an untrue word in there.
No. This movie, I know we talked about it in college. That's where I first saw it. I did not see this when this first came out.
No.
And when we went back to rewatch this for the podcast, I've only seen it straight through, start to finish, once, maybe twice.
Agreed.
I've seen a bunch of parts of it, clips of it, sections, quotes, but not start to finish. Like, this is a hole in my game. I've not seen this a lot.
Agreed. I think I saw it freshman year of college. I think Sepna had it on recorded VHS.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw it. And it was maybe like you once or twice, and that's it. And a lot of it, I have to say, I might have had memory retention issues at the time I watched it. So like there seemed to be gaps in rewatching it this last time. I'm like, I only vaguely recall this. Like I couldn't remember a lot of detail at all.
There are quotes from this movie that we would say in college that I forgot were from this movie.
Yeah.
Like illusion.
Well, and I actually forgot the context of them, but from the movie at least. And I can't remember exactly where I saw this, but I might have seen it immediately as it came out on VHS. Michelle, my older sister, was dating a guy who was even older than she was, and he was a huge Charles Grodin fan. Well, he's movie buff anyway. And we had gotten into some of his other movies, like Real Life and 70s movies that Grodin was in. And so I think he immediately was gravitated toward this movie, and so therefore I saw it early. And then I did get reacquainted with it about the same time, Brennan. But I know we'll get to the general impressions, but there was just a lot more there on this viewing when I did it from start to finish than I remembered.
So we were going to do a different movie this time around. It was going to be Stripes or something else. Yeah. And then Charles Grodin died May 18th. And as we were talking online back and forth in various threads, throwing out quotes and stuff, I'm like, oh, we have to do this movie. This has to be the next one we do. And so here we are. I was going to create a new game for this movie, but it was clear it would take too much time and research, and I wasn't going to do it. But so,
attaboy.
Yeah, well, you'll see the reason why. So, this movie, I think, is one of the best movies. It's a very specific niche movie or niche situation
category. This
is one of the best movies where the title is clearly said in the dialogue inside the movie.
Oh, yes, it's when he said it in the pitch to Jack to get him to take the job. I'm like, that is an old movie rule that has fallen out, which is at some point there has to be at least an image or a reference to the title.
Right.
And I'm like, well, they are like, in the first 10 minutes of this movie, we are checking this box.
Yeah, absolutely. So putting one word names aside, like Inception or something, like, okay, fine. Or the name of the person, Rocky. None of that counts. Gremlins, no. My ultra quick, off the top of my head, short list includes, so these are all said in the movie.
I can't believe you sat and brainstormed.
Well, I got 5. The Breakfast Club.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's good.
As Good as It Gets. A Clear and Present Danger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
Back to the Future and Minority Report. Those are all relatively recent ones, I guess, or I'm not going back 60 years.
Another category inspired by Back to the Future, I want 3-word sentences or phrases that are movie pitches.
Oh.
For example?
I want to do a movie called Back to the Future. That to me is like the whole movie right there. Like, it's the pitch.
Yeah. The elevator pitch is the title. Yeah.
Yeah, not even elevator pitch. It just has to be like a haiku, like that Niro.
Lost Ark. Right. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I got it.
All we need.
The Fast and the Furious.
They may be the greatest example of that. We're just going to be crazy, angry, and destructive and drive really fast.
Right. Okay.
Look, it took me more words to say it than that.
All right. This movie was directed by Martin Brest. And we know him from Beverly Hills Cop, Scent of a Woman, Joe Black, and Geely. Apparently, Geely was his last movie, and that just destroyed him because I don't see him anywhere after that. He disappeared. He did all these movies in the 80s and into the 90s, and then he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but he was on a huge streak, obviously.
Yeah, he had others as well, but he had a bunch in a row that were great, and he was like building this career, and all of a sudden, Geely, and he's gone.
Right.
So,
fucking J-Lo.
Rightly so.
J-Lo. So watching this movie, it was clear to me that this is De Niro at his most De Niro-ness. Like, so he has a little run here in a 3 or 4 year span of The Untouchables, Midnight Run, and Goodfellas. And he's in his late 40s. He's just De Niro at an 11, I think.
Was this before or after Cape Fear?
Before, but just barely before.
Yeah. I mean, he had a very...
Cape Fear was like 93.
Was it that late?
Like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking 90 or 91.
Yeah.
No, Brendan, though, the thing that I was surprised to go back and then think about a little bit was, I know we'll get into casting, but, De Niro was sort of considered risky for the amount of money they were putting into the movie.
Right.
Because he wasn't a huge star. I mean, obviously acclaimed for the Scorsese films and some, King of Comedy and the other movies that he was so lauded for, but he was never like a huge box office guy.
No. So,
and it is interesting that he was almost some of those movies like Goodfellas, he was going to get anyway, right? Because Scorsese wanted to work with him. But it's interesting. Would there be a Meet the Fockers or whatever the first title was if he wasn't successful here?
I think that's your Meet the Parents, right? That's your premise.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
But this goes back, Brendan, to your discussion that you want to have at some point, which is movie star.
Right.
And so, like, Rob, we were talking about, like, who are the biggest movie stars in the last 30 years. And there's a difference between, you know, somebody like Tom Cruise, who's, like, you would argue is a movie star, or Tom Hanks, but is De Niro, or is he a great actor?
Right.
And not necessarily.
I mean, Tom Hanks, I actually think he might be a great actor too, but Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis tried really hard to try and be an actor, but he never got there, right? So he's a movie star, I think.
And we'll do a whole pod on this, but the idea was the biggest movie stars of our lifetime, or the past 50 years. Right. And because I had just heard something about Harrison Ford, and they ripped off this.
Well, yes, for sure.
Right. So, but they ripped off this this unbroken 20-year span of hit after hit after hit in big movies and movies you love and movies you know, and just unending run of domination by Harrison Ford for 20 straight years.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right. But I bring it up, Robbie, because you were just talking about, you know, De Niro at this point had done great movies, but was he
had won an Academy Award, you know, I mean,
to be the lead in this kind of a movie.
Right. So when I say that De Niro is his most De Niro-ness, I mean, when people do a Robert De Niro impression, it's of this period of his life. It's these 3 years of his life.
Yeah.
It's the facial mannerisms, the way he speaks differently in this movie than he does in some other movies.
When he extends that upper lip to do like that little like there is a specific De Niro-ness that comes out that nobody else does.
So when we get to trivia, let's compartmentalize and make sure we don't bleed into the casting, because I have more casting information than I do trivia stuff.
Okay. It's funny you say this, Brendan, because I don't know, you know, in the format of the podcast, like typically I feel like these are siloed things. And for some reason, the recasting and some of the trivia, they all seem very interwoven. And like, it was incredibly hard to recast this movie. And I know we'll get to it because of the original cast that was thought of and discarded was insane. Like there were so many great options that they were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. I don't know what's going on with the casting information I have, because it's ludicrous.
Okay.
It seems like literally every big name you could ever think of.
I don't think anything. Let's not do that yet. But
sure.
It's weird information I think we have.
Okay.
It definitely didn't invent this, but it was a somewhat new twist on the odd couple comedy, the buddy comedy, the road trip movie.
Right.
I mean, it's side by side with Tommy Boy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Thelma and Louise, even Lethal Weapon, even though they're not cops necessarily. They at one point they kind of both play FBI agents, but in 48 Hours, of all those movies, this is more under the radar than all of them. But I think it's as effective as every one of those movies.
I would agree. And I guess I may have been somewhat ignorant of of how highly regarded this movie was.
Yeah, everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I know, but
I loved it, but I didn't think it was as widely loved.
Right.
As it was.
And like where it falls on like, you know, best comedies of all time. Like I don't know how I missed the boat this big on this movie. The fact that I mean, I watch movies repeatedly, the same movies multiple times. Like how this one didn't get into rotation.
That's what I mean. Like it's a hole in my game that sure I've seen it, but it's not on heavy rotation. I haven't seen this.
No.
But I feel like even if I look at movie lists, you know, where they talk about the best movies of all time or the best comedies or this, I don't know why this movie doesn't stick in my brain that it shows up regularly.
It's not on TV. It's not on cable. It never comes up anywhere.
It's so strange.
It is odd. It was hard. I had to dig around a while to find to rent it, but it was more widely recognized, and I think a lot more depth and value was placed, at least in the like Ebert's review and Siskel's review, were like
they loved it,
very thoughtful about it, and I think they were really commending the director, and I think 48 Hours, which did Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Yeah.
48 Hours, I think, is underrated for the relationship between Nolte and Eddie Murphy, and I think Eddie Murphy actually did a lot of the work there, but this was the first one that, among that list of things that you just read, there's there's an emotional weight and like intimacy that like you don't normally, just because these guys killed it. The plot was not hard, it was not complicated.
This is the easiest movie to write.
I mean, they killed it. This shows though what a better than average set of people behind the movie in terms of director and writer. Yeah. Like Grodin said, it was the best script he ever read off the bat.
It's funny because there's really no plot,
but they accelerate it.
It's all dialogue. Right?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah. The plot was easy to come up with. It's going back to your no nonsense plot. It's really straightforward. It's not a complicated situation.
Except for the mafia part, is get this guy from A to B. The end. Right. There's that little mafia bit, but
right.
It's crazy.
But it like Rob, it is the dialogue, it's the banter, it's the nonverbal responses to.
It's De Niro almost breaking about 4 different times that I rewound 50 times. Yeah.
Yep. And I could watch Charles Grodin's face all day in this movie. Like, it is so delightful. It's so delightful when he says something to De Niro just to wind him up.
On that front, I'm sorry, Allison. Remember when Jack's credit card keeps getting ejected?
That's great.
That's what we were talking about.
and Grodin's just like giving the googly eye to the clerk. It was so great.
When you watch that scene, you should not look at De Niro at all.
No, because you should. I've watched it 100 times, and 97 of them I was watching De Niro get angrier, and I just happened to remind myself of, and it's the best part of the scene. It's Grodin.
It's Grodin. I could not stop laughing last night when I was watching.
Not even censored in the shot. Like he's. Like just from a cinematography angle, he's hard to find with your eye, and he's so good.
I think Charles Grodin is playing 2 parts in this movie. One is the things he's saying. The other one, his face is doing something completely different. It's 2 different performances. It's pretty insane.
Well, it's a very like there is the on the surface part of the character, and then it's the undercurrent that. Everything is very intentional and very methodical to just like poke just enough to make De Niro uncomfortable. But it's always like this innocent, like I'm just an accountant.
That's why Grodin was so good.
It's so good.
So one thing I want to point out, when this movie starts, I was a little like taken aback by the theme song.
I wrote the same thing.
Really kind of in your face, and it's extremely
the first line on my young son's notebook, opening guitar /horns. What's up, Danny Elfman?
I feel like though, I had the same reaction. I had it in my head last night, was every 80s movie like soundtrack is horns and saxophones, like just blaring in your face.
But this song is very generic 80s movie song. And then I looked it up, as you just mentioned, Rob. It's fucking Danny Elfman did this whole soundtrack. Mm-hmm. He composed all the songs and all the music. This year he had Batman and Midnight Run.
Oh my God.
And then when you go look at his IMDb.
Yeah, he's the second to John Williams, or maybe Randy Newman, I guess, right?
Like, the movies that we know Danny Elfman did, with Tim Burton or whatever, and a few things here and there. Okay, fine, we know a half dozen of them. But you look at this thing, and it's 70 movies long.
Yeah,
every movie.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's an incredible run.
He did Beetlejuice and this in the same year, not Batman. Batman was the year before, I guess. Yeah.
In 87?
Batman was 87, wasn't it? Or 80, 89, whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this movie that everyone loves, box office wise, not so lovable.
Oh.
It did okay. So let me give you the top 10 and I'll give you where Midnight Run falls.
Okay.
In 1988. Number 1, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? $106 million.
Wow.
You went, so just, side note, we all went to the theater for that, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
I don't know that I did.
I absolutely did.
I don't know that I did.
Child abuse.
I think I made up for it working at Toonville and watching it 8,000 times.
I will tell you, well.
My goodness.
I'll tell you which of these movies I didn't go see, because otherwise I saw them all in the theater.
Okay.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Coming to America, $128 million. Went and saw that one. Good Morning Vietnam, 122. Went and saw that. Big, 114 million. I saw that.
Yeah, put a little star there.
Yep.
Yeah, right. We'll come back to that one. Crocodile Dundee 2. I think I went and saw that one. I'm not positive.
That's not good.
3 Men and a Baby.
Ooh.
90 million.
Oh, man, this is terrible.
Die Hard, 83 million. I saw that. Number 8, Moonstruck. I did not see that in the theater.
You didn't snap out of it.
Yeah. 9, Cocktail, 78 million. Saw that.
Oh, Poland's Law.
And Beetlejuice, number 10, at 73 million. Midnight Run was way down at number 26 at 38 million.
Whoa.
But a moneymaker, though, right?
The budget to make it was $30 million and it made.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
So barely scraped by. Yeah. So, Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
Audience. What did the audience give Rotten Tomatoes?
Hey, Brendan.
Sir?
I need to disclose something.
You looked up.
As I was tooling around the Google machine, I saw a critic's Rotten Tomato, so I withdraw from or recuse myself from voting on the critics
part. All right.
Yeah, I did not see the.
So, what do you think the audience gave it, Slim?
I actually think they're going to be. Well, I don't want to say anything. I'll just give you a straight out number. I will say they thought 89.
All right.
That's too high. I just feel it.
I'm going to say 84.
Critics or the audience gave it an 87.
Ooh.
7%.
Yeah,
and
Robert?
Al, what did you think the critics gave it?
84.
84?
Mm-hmm.
Add 10, 94.
Really?
The critics gave it a 94.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw it. I mean, that's an impressive number.
That's a really big number. Like, I felt 84 was like.
No, but I mean, on a movie that clearly the viewers loved.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's not a lot of 87s out there, and they were like, "Oh no, take it up a notch."
I could have easily seen the critics not being into this one.
94%. That's.
Oh, Brendan, I think you just laid it out though. The formula was, let's challenge two really good actors with just the most basic plot of all time.
Yeah.
And not really. There's a couple of action scenes that are executed pretty good. I guess that there was more. That desert car chase was more impressive than I remembered.
Yeah,
but we're just going to make you talk the whole time,
right?
And they definitely pulled that off.
Okay, trivia. All right, I'm going to try to not get into the casting stuff.
So that's what I'm saying about the interrelated nature. You can't.
Right.
It's all casting almost.
I'll throw a couple things out there. Dennis Farina, our guy, Chicago cop or ex-Chicago cop, shot all of his scenes in Las Vegas because he was also shooting Crime Story there as well.
Oh.
So everything with him is in Vegas. Fine, great.
And that was was that the Vegas airport at the end?
McCarran.
Okay.
Yeah.
McCarran.
If that carpet could talk.
Ew.
It generally goes for most carpets, but definitely for that carpet. But.
Yeah. How many times have you slept on that carpet?
Oh, God.
Several times.
I've definitely
not direct. I mean, my body on it. My head was usually on a duffel bag or a stranger's feet.
I was just gonna say, it better be somebody's shoes.
A crumpled up bag of
McDonald's.
That and my last $8 to buy 2 versions of the Sunday New York Times. So I hello.
The famous litmus configuration scene was mostly improvised.
Yeah. And
some interesting improvisations in there too. He does turn to the guy next to him, but apparently, as I read at least, there were several other takes where they got into greater dialogue, and obviously the extra wasn't prepped with lines.
No.
But can you imagine Charles Grodin's just going to start riffing with you and you're some local yokel?
That guy should have got like a best supporting actor.
And supposedly, as the story goes, one of those outtakes was, so have you ever gone to prison? And the guy responds, yes. And he's like, what for? Murder, but I didn't do it. Was what he said.
So great. Fucking extra. Grodin's like, security.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That whole thing, what's your name? Red?
Yeah. Did you dye your hair? No.
No. Why do you Red? Because of my name, my last name. What's your last name? Wood. What?
Yeah, that's fine. Ray, or God damn it, Allison. I put what on my notes, just like
what.
That was a great line. Can we just pause for a second though on the improv? Yeah. So I was convinced after a couple scenes, which I'll run through, that like this was far more improvised than I thought. And then I tried to back it up, and I couldn't really back it up other than a few key examples. Well, I thought Charles Grodin was given far more license than apparently he was.
Oh, yeah.
There were only a few times where it's purely off the rails. But I think they always did like sort of structured improv where they're like, we need to get these plot points moved along and establish these ideas. But, that stuff made it in. And, everyone knows the, you ever fucking Animal Jack line was improv. And most of that scene apparently was improv. But I think unless I'm just completely crazy, the entire X-ray scene when De Niro's smoking on the bus, I mean, Grodin is killing him. Like he's on the verge of busting like 3 times. So, I mean, they all said, no, it was a well-written script and everything else. But I'm not buying it. I'm like, I just feel like there was way too much loosey-goosey going on. That was hilarious. But
they wanted Grodin to go at him once or twice, and Grodin went at him 6 times.
Right.
Like, it has to be.
That part was just more. That's one of the things that I recognized in the second time around here.
The idea to have Jack Walsh continually checking his watch and the whole backstory of that was De Niro's idea, which seems like that should have been in the script. How is that an improv by De Niro or an addition by De Niro? I don't know.
Well, it goes. There was some throwaway line in one of the trivia lists about the relative research and like prep that the 2 actors did, where De Niro went like L.A. cops and Chicago cops and interviewed bail bondsmen and everything else. And Charles Grodin, talked to his business manager about accounting. Yeah. but that idea that you needed to have some kind of emotional weight, I thought that was like a deeper level of the movie than I originally thought of.
Now, did you guys see this? That the train scene in Flagstaff, Arizona, actually prevented a real kidnapping? That is amazing. So they had all these police cars and people in police outfits walking around and doing their thing. And there was a kidnapper or a guy who was going to kidnap or take this woman from a coffee shop or something. Diner. And he got spooked by all the cops. And instead of taking her on the train or wherever he's going to take her, and just like threw her down and ran away. Crazy.
That's awesome.
Fucking a real kidnapping. So that's all I have for trivia. You guys can add whatever you want. I have much more in casting stuff.
So
Casting
the
issues.
only thing that I saw that I laughed at because it harkens back to Bandit: Bandit.
Yeah.
Which was, there were 3 sequels to this movie.
Oh, yeah.
None of which were in the theater. They were all made for TV movies, but the first one was Another Midnight Run. The second one was Midnight Run Around. And then the third was Midnight Run for Your Life.
They better say the title in the movie too.
Midnight Run for Your Life.
in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Midnight Run, Midnight Run.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I learned something today, that there were sequels. I did not even know that.
Yeah. And De Niro nor Grodin are in either one, and any of them, of course. But I did see that De Niro at one point was considering doing an actual sequel, like in 2010 or something like that, through his production company, but it never happened.
I had that at the end when we talk about, do you want to see a sequel of this? But he was planning a remake or a sequel with this production company, Tribeca, back in 2010. Yeah. Nothing ever happened from it, obviously. But
you know what? I think that we've lost track of a little bit in the old U.S. film industry. I think they used to take, Newman and Redfield or whatever. They would take folks that had chemistry and go find a completely different movie, right? And why couldn't there be a different plot and different characters? And maybe they kind of do the same thing, but that's what we want to see anyway. Why does it always have to be a sequel? I think they feel like the roles were so perfect that you've got to create another scenario for those 2 characters. I'm like, I don't care. Give them completely different story and let's see what happens.
We're sort of talking about the Wes Anderson troupe or the
exactly perfect example. Yeah,
where it's Eugene Levy and Christopher Guest.
Yeah, or the 2 from the Edgar Wright movies, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Yeah.
No, I mean, those are all great examples. And obviously there's different ones throughout time, but I'm I feel like some of these iconic ones maybe this one's on the outer edge, but even more recently, they just get discarded because, we've seen them together already. I'm
that's
crazy.
Well, and when you find 2 big stars who have that kind of chemistry, why not do that? It's
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to dive into the casting stuff.
Okay.
And one big quick trivia, because I guess this is kind of casting, but do we want to talk about one of the reasons why De Niro got more interested in taking this role was he was targeting big.
Yeah.
Wanted to be big.
Yeah.
Which is, in my mind, kind of like a launching point and sort of an iconic thing for Tom Hanks. And obviously the piano scene in FA, I mean, it's just sort of, used incessantly on these clips at the Academy Awards or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you imagine De Niro in that movie?
But he was looking for the lighter sort of movies.
I know.
Opposed to all the dark stuff he'd done up until then. But this is as light, or I guess later on we see him in Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
He does it. But Midnight Run's about as light as I need my De Niro. You don't have to, you're not going to do big. Sorry, it's not going to work. No. Okay. I'm debating on where to go first on the casting. Let me go.
I can't even figure out how to talk about the options.
I'm going to leave the 2 main characters for last and go for the other guys. Here's some of the people I saw for Jimmy Serrano.
Okay.
The Dennis Farina character.
Okay.
Ron Perlman, Dennis Hopper, Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta. I don't know if I even believe that one. And Alec Baldwin.
Coming off of Goodfellas?
No,
years before.
When the heck was Goodfellas? 91?
90. Yeah. So Goodfellas was Liotta's first big movie. He may have something small before that, but I think he was on soaps or whatever beforehand. So yeah, Ray Liotta 3 years before Goodfellas.
Yeah. Wow. And I actually have him on some options later, but Yeah, that one's hard to believe. But the other ones all make sense, right? You can see I think almost all of them.
Yeah.
Keitel, I think Dennis Hopper would be great. Would be a good one. Okay, Marvin Dorfler. I like both of these ones. John Goodman and John Candy.
Yeah. When they said Goodman, I was like, that would have been good, I think.
Yeah.
Really good. I think
only if he played him as Lebowski, the same character.
With the yellow shaded sunglasses.
Yes, all of it. Yeah, and a bowling bag, all of it.
Joe Pantoliano, who from this moment forward will be known as Joey Pants. He was the guy who played Eddie Marcone.
Oh.
He was given the opportunity by the director Brest to play one of the two goons that we liked.
Yeah.
And he
both great goons. I have several notes on the goons.
And he said, "No, I don't want to do that. I want to play the Duke part. I want to play Grodin's part."
Oh.
And they're like, "Yeah, you're not even going to do that. So if you want to audition for Marcone, fine, but you're either the goons or you're Marcone." And he got Marcone by auditioning for it.
And I think this is an award worthy. It's a small part, but he is so good in this movie.
Yeah.
He's good, but the whole thing is just being a lunatic. It's
it's not complicated, but he just does it so well. I think it's great.
Yelling
he goes from 0 to 60, like in
doesn't hold back at all. That's the thing. Like he knows that there's no middle point.
No, yell into a phone and then smash it on the table and then. Okay. Let's start with
and no matter where he is, he goes into that that Asian market and is like just like losing his mind
at the top of his lungs at an Asian diner.
Yeah, and demands their phone. Give me that.
Yeah, that's for me. Yeah,
that's for me. Okay, Jonathan Mardukas, aka the Duke, the Charles Grodin character. The first one's easy. Albert Brooks turned down the role.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks would have been fantastic in that.
Yeah.
Had he done that. But.
Well, hey, Brendan, can I just say, literally everyone you're going to say, I think for Walsh or particularly the Duke, on paper, you're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. And if you would have written down De Niro and Grodin on a piece of paper, I would have been like, not having seen it, right?
Right.
So, like, this is one of those things where I was actually talking to Ray about the people you're going to mention here, and she's like, oh, they all sound better than Charles Grodin.
No.
Or better than De Niro.
Yeah, I'm going to argue that he's the only one that I like of the potentials. Because
I think there's a bunch.
So I don't have that many for the Duke. Let's see what we get to. But so Albert Brooks turned it down, which to me says he was offered it, right? The other three I have as were considered are Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Steve Martin. And then those three, fine. Steve Martin would be good, I guess. I don't care about Bruce Willis doing that, and Bill Murray.
Well, so I think Bruce Willis, it might have turned like his career in a totally different direction. But that's interesting. I think Steve Martin could have done this well. Yeah. I think Bill Murray could have done it well. The other pairing I heard, though, and I think it's about the pairing, was Harrison Ford and Chevy Chase.
Right.
Yeah.
And a 1988 Chevy Chase is intriguing to me.
But it's a completely different movie because Chevy Chase has too much.
He's more of a dick. He's more sarcastic.
Yeah.
It
may
like
work, but it's a different movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chevy Chase and a guy like Harrison Ford, who is not going to take any bullshit. Like, I feel like that might work well.
Yeah, I saw that as well. The other one that I saw, which was weird.
I hope this is it.
It is. When Paramount Pictures had the movie early on, they brought in Bress as the director. They wanted to cast Cher as the Duke. Cher as the Grodin role.
Snap out of it.
I was just going to say, Robbie, where's your line?
So the director said, we're doing Grodin, so sorry. And then Paramount said, okay, well, then we're out. We're done. And then Universal picked it up and they continued. But yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, maybe score one for the suits. It sounds like an intriguing idea.
It does.
Except it would be like snappy, sarcastic, tough on tough. You know what I mean? Like there wouldn't be any juxtaposition.
Yeah. And that's where it looks like, the director saw what this could be and what the roles are, and they shouldn't be tough on tough. It should be different.
It wouldn't have worked. It would have come off as the stupid buddy movie that,
All of these are movies I would like to see in different versions.
Maybe. Alternative universes, we could have like a lot of midnight runs that we like.
All right. Now, here's where it gets crazy for the Jack Walsh one. So I have a list of every actor that was working in Hollywood in 1988.
It really is crazy.
I don't know what to believe. Like I saw different ones, and some of them make sense. Some of them don't make any sense. I can't believe all of these people were
literally just say, go Google the top 15 actors of the last 50 years.
I will run through them as quickly as possible, but it's insanity. Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell, Michael Keaton, Richard Gere, Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson, Gene Hackman, Don Johnson, Tommy Lee Jones, John Travolta, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson, Mickey Rourke, Jeff Bridges, Ryan O'Neal, John Voight, Michael Douglas, and Dustin Hoffman.
Harrison Ford.
This list is so.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's nothing.
This is bad. We're getting bad.
It's bad information. Yeah.
Yes. Because I mean that list is like, yes, if I was making a movie, I would want those people too somehow.
Yeah. I didn't see anything else to confirm or eliminate any of these, so I'm just. This is just nonsense. But I think some of these were like. I think this was
wish list.
It was on IMDb or something. So I think it's like one person added 3 names that they saw. Some other person added 4 more names that they saw. And I think it's just, this is the combination of all that, but it's ludicrous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when I think De Niro got the role early on. He was attached thanks to the director. I think he was like on from the get-go. So I don't know how any of these people were considered at all. Like, I don't think that was even a possibility.
I don't know why I have the reaction of when I hear a big list like that, if it were accurate, I'd be like, these people had no idea what this movie was going to be. Like if they've got, it's like this shotgun approach of we're going to ask 1,000 people for a lead role.
You don't think they were auditioning all these people where Dustin Hoffman came in, followed by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, no, but I'm just saying.
No, of course not. It's ridiculous.
But I'm just saying, like, if they were like, oh, it could be it could be these 15 people, like, what are we? I mean, it just feels a little, whenever you give a big list like that, I'm always like, either the list is wrong or these people didn't have a vision for what the character really was going to be, because it's a pretty varied range.
It's crazy.
That's in there.
In the past, there's been some information tied to it. This is just a list of names, and we are communicating bad information right now. So great.
Oh, good.
But I do think a couple of those combinations could have worked.
Yeah. We talked about De Niro and Big. Great. So, unless there's any further ado, it's time to recasturbate.
Can we actually?
I gave him the chance to get in there. He didn't do it.
Well, I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know which thing you were going to.
Pausing for dramatic effect and nothing.
I have to do it once a show. So one further ado. So given the fact that we've already talked about the value placed on the dialogue actually and the scenes coming off because the plot's so simple.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and I know it's apparent, but one of the things I clearly skipped over a bunch of the other times I've seen the movie is when Jack goes home to his ex-wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
And that is like, that's a real moment in a film and a dramatic moment. And I'm assuming it's what drove a lot of the reviews in the sense that like in the first, like that probably would have been the first third of the movie.
Yeah.
You have a pretty, first of all, important scene and then pivotal in the plot and everything else that they just kind of nail. And it was more emotionally hitting than I remembered this movie even approaching. Yeah. But it just, I think, goes again to show that there was some, like, the craziness, you know, that De Niro did for Cape Fear or these other movies, gaining weight or working out or doing it. He, like, brought the same shit here. Like, he made the same kind of intense moves in preparation for this and kind of showed in those, like, 2 or 3 scenes that were like, that's where this becomes better than an average movie.
I thought it was interesting because it was, the whole thing was just all awkward silences. There wasn't a lot of,
but like, so perfect, you know?
Yeah, it would have been, had this movie been made today, it would have been much differently and more drawn out and more over the top in some way.
Yeah.
It was a kind of small little moment. It was good.
But there were definitely moments where I was watching Charles Grodin during that whole scene as him being like the barometer of how you're supposed to feel during that.
Well, and sort of setting it up, right, in his mind. Like he's responsible in some way for how this is going.
Yeah. All right. Recasting.
All right, let's do it.
Better close the door. It's time to recasturbate.
Okay.
I'm going to blow your mind.
I've got a couple good ones.
All right. For the record, the ones we are doing are Jack Walsh, Jonathan Mardukas, the Duke, Alonzo Mosley, Marvin Dorfler, Jimmy Serrano, Eddie Marscone, and then the bonus of the 2 Goons.
Yes.
Oh,
you don't have to do the 2 Goons, but
okay.
We like them so much, so I put them down. Like,
I will say though that no one should ever replace these 2 Goons because they are the greatest.
Recast them today in their 80s, so they're fine. Great.
Nice jacket. When that one goon, the dumb goon, is staring at De Niro, it's so good.
Oh my god. All right. Do we start from the top?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Jack Walsh. I'll go first.
All right.
I do have 3 for this one.
Yeah.
I really have 2, but I'll give you 3. My number, no, I'm not even doing number 3. Fuck it. 2. I have 2 now.
Wow.
I'm whittling down by the moment here. Right. Jack Walsh. My backup one is Bill Hader.
Ooh. I've got
yeah.
I've got him.
I don't love it.
I got him somewhere else.
Yeah. Only because of his portrayal of Barry on that show on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to believe he can kill somebody. Yeah.
My number 1, and I thought of this from the beginning, even during the movie when I was watching it. My number 1 is Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I think he nails it. I think he pulls it off.
That's pretty good.
So I've got 3. I had a 4th, but I'm not going to say it. I had it as a backup in case you said one of mine.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
I thought that too.
Colin Farrell.
Damn it. I thought that too.
You add Will Smith. Does this become Bad Boys? Just right away.
And number 1 that I really like is Jeremy Renner.
Oh, yeah.
That's
really good, actually. That's very good. I never would have thought
because if you remember in the movie Tag, where he plays enough of like this very serious guy, but can flash like humor and sarcasm and stuff like that I really liked it.
I didn't put him anywhere, but I almost had Colin Farrell somewhere else.
Okay.
But I didn't use him at all.
I thought Colin Farrell could do it. And this is half for the laughs, but I thought if he weren't so small, I thought Kevin Hart could do it.
I considered Kevin Hart in a number of places.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have to tone down the over expressiveness, but the anger he could get to, silence and rage. He could do the silence and
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Al, why don't you start with Mardukas?
Oh God. This
is one of the hardest ever to do.
Really? Oh, I found it easier than I thought it would be.
I found it really hard until I found my first one. Then I got it.
But the guy just really does own it. So you gotta have to think of just people that would be respectful of the role.
Before Allison starts, who is there? There is no modern day Charles Grodin. Like there is
no that deadpan setup guy that can actually act.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like you can't. I mean, I think I've got a couple of them, but
so I've got 3.
Yeah, just give us 3 and then we can.
Damn it, Allison! I know we're going to be the same.
I don't know that we are. She is one of my staples.
Ooh.
I tried to change up the gender, but I did.
Kristen Wiig. Huh?
No, Melissa McCarthy.
No. Yes, probably.
If you think about that irritating kind of
the ability to carry on a conversation with 2 people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just continually drawing it out.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
It's a little
second one, big. Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
And then
I like that
Vince Vaughn.
I thought about him in a bunch of places too.
I got him reappearing. But Aubrey is a great one too. Those are both good.
I like the Aubrey one. The Melissa McCarthy, to me, she's too big for that role. Like she's just too
much personality.
Yeah, it's just too.
Yeah, but you know what? Did you see her in that show where she was plagiarizing the rare letters or whatever?
Yes,
she can do she can amp it down.
All right, I'll do mine. My number 3.
That show. Did you see the show that she was in? The show, that movie,
the program. My number 3 is Ty Burrell.
Oh,
Jonathan.
That's really good.
I think
really good.
So that's a great call. He would do well.
I thought of him right before the podcast. My number 2 was Jason Schwartzman.
Oh,
ooh, that's a great.
I like
him. Pretty funny. Yeah,
I think he's good. The first guy I thought of, and I'm going to stick with him as my number 1, is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh,
that's good too.
I think Ty Burrell might be my winner in the Clubhouse.
Ty Burrell is definitely really good. That's really good.
Sort of came out of left field. I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
I think because I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a little too young appearing, but
possibly.
But Ty Burrell, everyone obviously knows him as the goofy dad, but he plays like the dick really well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you Dawn of the Dead is a good example, but
he's got a bit of that dry stuff that Grodin does so well.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah. He's basically the dad on Modern Family without being loving.
Yeah.
Right? Just like the shitty edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was required to say Ryan Reynolds might be able to do it, but I think he'd be so much over the top and no one would believe that he could do math. So he couldn't be an accountant. But the other 2 I have here, I really have a favorite, but I think they both could do it. Steve Carell and Jason Sudeikis.
Oh,
I definitely thought of Carell, and then I got caught up. I think he's too old. That's my own hang up of the age thing. But yeah,
but I think Jason Sudeikis actually could nail this.
He could do pretty good.
Yeah,
he can be the touching and the sarcastic and I thought he would be great.
I had kind of my bonus as Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd.
Oh, those are good.
Paul Rudd, I like.
Will Ferrell can be understated, and I think it would be fun. I think it would be funnier if it was him almost playing it straight, but that needly.
I get hung up with Will Ferrell because whatever he's in, it becomes a Will Ferrell movie to me. Like he's such a presence, you know.
Yeah.
That's my only.
She's like, no.
All right.
Yeah. I still like my other ones better, but
Alonzo Mosley.
I think Jeremy Renner is good for Walsh. That's my favorite pick so far.
Nash, why don't you start with Alonzo?
These were terrible. I couldn't come up with any. I thought John Hamm could be an exasperated, and he has been a federal agent before, so it's not great. And then this is where I thought Ray Liotta could actually do it and be interesting. But I thought Mekhi Phifer, and not just swapping African American for African American, but I thought he has that like experienced, grizzled like attitude.
Yeah. I don't like my third one. So.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say it anyway. My third one for Alonzo is Chiwetel Ejiofor. I butcher his name every goddamn time.
If you were hooked up to a lie detector, it would have spiked.
Yeah.
Your heart really ran.
I don't know how to.
You need a breath?
I think one of the chambers of my hearts have stopped beating, start pumping blood. So he's my third. I don't love it, but I put him in there. My number.
I almost hurt myself.
My number.
For a moment. I know. For those of you listening, I could see Allison really. It almost approached a stroke. I think.
I took a sip and I couldn't decide what I was going to do with it.
That was a play in 3 acts, right there.
Lord. My second place is Michael Shannon.
Oh, I've got him somewhere.
Of course.
I've got him somewhere else.
My number one is sort of a go-to. It's almost too easy. It's Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think
straight roll.
Shannon would be great. Of course, I always think he would be great, but he'd be great at the anger so the Goons are 2 great side roles, but the idiot FBI agent who always keeps saying the worst thing at the worst time.
Yeah.
That's an awesome role.
It's so good.
And Alonzo's look at him every time is so good.
Great. It's so great. So I've got Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And my top one, and she is often a frequent go-to for me, is Regina King.
Yeah,
she could do it.
That's good.
She could do just about any of this, but yeah, that'd be good.
I just like her. I want to see her face react to that guy that you were just talking about, Rob.
She's good when she's pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, Marvin Dorfler. All right.
Hey, Brendan, I have to give credit to Rachel, my beautiful bride. She helped me on this, but it was so funny. We were sitting down. I'm like, I need your help to recast. She's like, all right. And so I'm ripping off the characters and the ages of the actors at the time. And I'm like, Marvin. And she's like, Marvin. Oh, the other bounty hunter? I'm like, yeah. How old is he? 55? and I go, no, Brendan says he was 40 at the time of the movie. And she's like, oh, that's a 1980s 40.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing with a lot of these movies. Anything pre-1990, all the ages are skewed. It's very...
Well, I mean, he arguably looks like he's older than De Niro or Farina. Yeah. I mean, but he's the youngest guy in the cast.
He plays the older cop or sergeant or whatever in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, and he's only 40, and he plays 55 in that one. So
Yeah.
Okay, Dorfler. My number 3 is a throw-in. So I really have 2. Jason Momoa was my number 3.
Yeah.
That's funny. Kind of a dummy, like dummy, but smartish. Yeah, that's good.
Nope.
That's good.
Tom Hardy.
No.
Oh, here we go.
That's his place. The one I like, and I think I can't believe anyone would say anything else but this guy, is Russell Crowe.
Oh.
I
thought about him, but yeah.
Especially at his fattest, like a fat Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe and my Jack Walsh is Ryan Gosling, and they were in that movie together, The Tough Guys, The Wise Guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah. So
that was actually way better than I thought it would be. Yeah.
They're in that together, and I want that pairing in my Bounty Hunters.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I've got Leslie Jones doing a totally different part, but I like
that is a different take on there.
Number 2, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
And number
Say hello to your mother for me.
And number 1,
Hey, donkey.
Unlimited budget is Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Kind of playing that similar character in Spy, where like he thinks he's way better than he is.
I think you're essentially rewriting the character too.
A bit.
Fine. It's for the actor. You have to.
I'm just thinking about different bounty hunters.
He's less of a burnout and a dope, and he's more of a.
I'm thinking about who's the guy that's going to thwart Jack Walsh every step he goes, and it's going to be that type of character.
Yeah.
But I did say Jason Statham is number 1, but I really think it's Mark Wahlberg for me.
Wahlberg.
I think, you need a little bit more bumbling, but that's the thing is like he was actually pretty smart in the movie. So this is actually from my bride's recommendation. She actually is to my side here. She just came downstairs, but I know the age doesn't work, but Matthew McConaughey I thought could be a good foil too.
All right.
There's more of the true detective burnout phase of Matthew McConaughey. That's all I got. That was
whoa.
Yeah, we got one.
Wow.
I was having trouble.
We're gonna make up for it later.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I do feel very good. I've submitted 1 entry and 1 entry only for Eddie.
Oh.
Interesting. I can't wait.
Let's do Farina. Let's do Jimmy Serrano.
Jimmy Serrano. Al, why don't you start?
This is where I have Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
I've also got Mark Strong.
Yeah.
And then the number 1 that I have is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, I like him. That's good. I've got 3 Serranos. Let's see. I don't know what order to put them in. Okay, I'm going to go. Number 3 is Michael Imperioli, Spida.
Oh.
Spida.
Too small.
Yeah.
Too small.
Maybe.
Too diminutive.
My number 1 is bigger, so you'll enjoy that one. Number 2, Oscar Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
As Jimmy Serrano. Number 1, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
that's just a Farina lookalike.
Yeah.
You're wanting to do is this more on number 1? Put on more on number 2.
Yeah. I want him doing.
Also, one of the best. I had to rewind. Yeah. Great, so great. The whole part.
Him doing a Chicago accent with a Farino salt and pepper hair. Yeah. Good.
not yet. So for my Farina, I completely shucked the ake requirement.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. So Ray Liotta was one I thought obviously could do it for obvious reasons. Then Vince Vaughn appealed to me there.
I liked it.
And I think he could have done more with it. So whatever. But I want to see, he doesn't get in front of the camera all that often, but I wanted to see Robert Smigel.
Oh my God.
What? Wow.
Wow.
The Chicago accent. So
that came out of nowhere. Yeah, I thought about putting De Niro as my Serrano, as opposed to
Well, if you're shooting it today, that's what you do.
He's way too old.
For you to think about De Niro, he's way too old.
That's why he didn't make my list. I'm just saying. He's way too
old. But again, Farina was 44, right? So that's a 1988 44 because he looks every bit of 55.
59, yeah.
One other thing, though, that I must mention because Rachel said it last night. She thought the best pairing for Walsh and the Duke was me and Joel Riley.
That's interesting.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's pretty good.
Sounds about right. Eddie?
I just popped down because I wanted to hear this part of the conversation. But I must go back upstairs because I'm watching the movie Rock of Ages.
Ooh, very good. Bye, Rach.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Eddie Moscone, Joey Pants. You're going last, Rob, since you only have one person. Or do you want to go first?
Up to you.
You feel very confident about your number one, don't you? Mm-hmm.
I do.
All right. So if you go last, there's a chance we're going to say it.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
Eddie Moscone. I really only have two, but I have a third that. My third is Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's very good, actually.
Pretty good.
The number two that I like a lot is Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh, yeah.
Also very good. Those are two great ones.
Solid. My number one comes out of left field.
Yeah.
Someone I've never said on the podcast before, but somebody else has. My number one for Moscone is Dave Franco.
Oh. That's pretty funny.
That's an amazing number one.
I like it. I think he looks like Joey Pants a little bit too.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but all right. Al?
So I've got the third one. It's a different character, but I was trying to think of like who could go from 0 to 60 and do that yelling a lot and would be kind of an unexpected person here. I've got Sarah Silverman.
That's really good. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I like that one.
I've got Sam Rockwell.
Yes. I like that one too.
And
Allison, very strong, top to bottom.
And I think though I like Zach Braff being this guy.
All right. Well, yeah, you had 2 home runs and then you tipped that one off the end of the bat.
Wow, really? Oh, I thought it was. I really liked it.
It sounds fine. When it hits the outer part of your ear and then it gets in your brain, you're like,
yeah. I'm like, oh,
all right.
I like the other two though.
All right. That's fine. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Those were good. Those are both good.
All the pressure's on Rob right now.
I'm not proclaiming it.
Eddie Moscone.
I just felt very comfortable with this selection.
All right.
I'm throwing the age out again. And by the way, another credit to my wife. She's like, well, what's the actor's name? I'm dropping the name. Not Joey P, right?
Joey Pants.
Yeah. Joey Pants. Yes. She's like, he's been ugly since the day he was born. So,
wow.
I know. So I felt like I could go older, but I think it'd be a different direction. But I just feel like interplaying with a tough guy, Jack Walsh, that David Spade would kill that role.
Oh, that's actually really good.
But he'd have to amp it up a little, but I think he would really be good at it.
Yeah, that's good. The Two Goons.
Yeah. I've got a couple pairings here.
I have one pairing and one pairing only.
Okay.
So the characters' names are Tony, Darvo, and Joey.
Yeah.
Joey's the dumb one. So I picked them because they go together.
Yes.
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. 21 Jump
Very good. I've actually got one now. That's good.
I've got one too. I actually have two. I'm going to go with John Barenthal and Michael Pena.
I tried to get Barenthal in this movie somewhere.
One pairing.
That's good.
The other one, I feel like is like I hit the triple word score, is Tom Hardy and Charlie Day.
Oh
my God.
That, I don't know how to beat that one. When they're on the phone with,
it's so good.
They're on the payphone with Dennis Farina, and the one guy's talking to him, the other guy's like shadow boxing and hitting him in the shoulders. Oh my God.
See this over here? It says fake fighting while on payphone with Jimmy Serrano. It's so good.
They're like our kids.
We've got our boys like shadow boxing in front of like the Duomo in Florence and in, like all over Rome. They're like doing this stuff.
It was so good. Their role was way more frequent.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And they were great. They were so funny. Like the whole movie operated just at like they made a good picture. You know what I mean? Like they made sure it had some laughs and moved along and everything else. And then you had these like big moments with De Niro and Grodin. But like all that other stuff is awesome. It's all funny. It's all great. It's great.
It's great.
So I just thought of this along the madcap way, and this would take the movie in like more of like a Cannonball Run.
No,
please forgive me, direction. But
Dean Martin and Sammy Davis.
No, I think of Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter. Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter. Like, because I could do a little Laurel and Hardy type,
So it's the Irish mob. It's not so much the mob.
Yeah, it would change a lot of things. So.
That red pompadour.
Oh my God.
Good God. All right. Memorable scenes and quotable lines. We've said half of them already.
I know.
Is this more on number one? Put on more on number two.
Yeah.
The best.
Is this more on number one? Put more on number two on the phone.
These things go down. It's too big. When he freaks out on the plane.
No, I can't.
Just relax.
I can't.
Just relax.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
Don't pull that shit on me.
No. I'm telling you. I can't do it. No,
Get over there.
I can't. These things go down.
All right.
These things go down. They go. It's too big. It's too big. It can't go up.
Well, and just a side note, air travel as recently as 1988 was opulent.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
First class cabin. I was like, I have never seen anything like that. And I've been on a lot of big planes.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Al, you probably have like 5 million total lifetime miles or whatever it is. And like, no, you never seen
like that.
No. It's ridiculous.
These things go down.
I suffer from aviophobia. If you don't cooperate, you're going to suffer from fistophobia.
At first, I chuckled and then I hated it and now I love it. I've gone through the complete emotional cycle about fistophobia.
One of the ones that I think is super underrated and under the radar is when Agent Mosley comes over. I forget they're arresting him somewhere. I forget exactly, off of the train or something. And he goes, hey, Agent Foster Grant. Oh, because the fucking sunglasses are Foster Grant. Oh my God. That's quality writing right there.
Well, I'm assuming improv is Grodin with I'll have the tea.
Yeah.
That long pause of deciding what they were going to have.
Illusion?
And the coffee prices. Did you notice that in the diner?
53 cents.
53 cents. That's awesome.
The Illusions one. We talked about that one.
The eggs in Chipotle or what? Chorizo.
Yeah. The simplicity and the stupidity, but it works. The Marvin, look, and he points and he punches him in the face.
I looked up how many punches are there.
It's gotta be just 3, right?
It's more. I think it's more than that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so stupid, but it's so good. When Serrano is talking to his consigliere or his business manager or whatever, and at the end he goes, Sydney, sit down, eat a sandwich, drink a glass of milk, do some fucking thing. Mm-hmm. Great. Perfect Farina.
Yeah.
It's great.
We had talked about, of course, the bus station scene. It still is worth noting again, him trying to buy the bus tickets, and Charles Grodin's face during that whole exchange is so
De Niro's
terrific. He's so
aggravated. Yes. Like, run it again.
And he's willing to wage an all-in battle on just her running again.
Right.
Like, he doesn't want the ticket. He just wants to force her.
I'm going to show my fake FBI badge. Yeah. Run it again.
Yeah.
So great for the character and so perfect. And then Grodin just eye rolling in the corner is awesome.
That's good. The other was the comment about the chickens.
Yeah.
And I almost gave a few a shot.
That's improv, and that's just Grodin fucking with De Niro.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love
it. It was De Niro that came back with the...
Yeah.
I almost gave a few a shot.
So, I mean, that's the scene that obviously has the emotional weight, and they actually sort of explain to each other that they could be friends or, even more. And, more emotional than that. But the scene that killed me in terms of just, I thought was so funny was they get on the bus. Well, first of all, the prevalence of smoking that you just forget.
Yeah.
Is amazing. It's awesome to see, actually. Like, smoking on a bus, smoking in an office while you're waiting to get something, smoking at the airport counter, all of it.
On a plane, on a train, like everywhere.
Anywhere. So they're on the bus in Texas, and Jack starts smoking, and Charles, Grodin just goes in on him, lung cancer and everything else. I mean, clearly Grodin throws like 3 or 4 lines at him that he's just making up on the spot. And De Niro's supposed to be angry, right? Like, he's got to be angry the whole time. And he's like smiling 3 or 4 times and even pauses and like sucks it in a couple of times. It's so good. It's just such a great.
I want to see those outtakes. I didn't see them anywhere. Oh,
yeah.
Amazing. So
lung cancer.
We gotta talk about Grodin's wig or toupee or whatever he's got going on there.
Yeah.
Did you notice it?
Yes, of course.
I was looking at it just because he wears something.
Right.
How much, whatever, who knows. But I was trying to figure out, is that a good one? Is that a bad one? Is that just what all of them are? I was trying to do the math on, did they do a good job? Or
I know, but if you can never get to the point where people can't tell, they've done a bad job, right? Like it's all or nothing. It's like there's no 85%.
How can everyone be wearing a wig for different roles in movies?
I don't know. Ask Steve Martin.
And then Grodin can't pull that off in real fucking life.
Well, I would say, who is Steve Martin's wig guy, and you should hire him. Because that guy's got the best of all time, right?
I don't know.
It's got to be one of the best. I mean, Woody Harrelson, occasionally when they put him on in a movie, looks pretty good.
I know.
But Steve Martin's been bald for like 40 years, I think.
I don't know. The whole thing is baffling.
Yes, it's not good.
All right, let's wrap this thing up with the how much are they worth game.
And now, let's play the how much are they worth game.
We've got Joey Pants, Yaphet Kotto, John Ashton, Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin. Yes, we did De Niro in the Goodfellas podcast, but no one remembers, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, let's pull up our little thing here. Joey, how about Joe Pantoliano? Okay, he's got that Matrix money.
Yeah.
He's in lots and lots of stuff. He's in Memento.
Yep, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Baby's Day Out, Goonies.
The
Fugitive.
That's right.
La Bamba. Ooh, good one. Fugitive. Empire of the Sun.
Really?
Empire of the Sun. He's the guy that's kind of the hustler at the camp.
Hustler.
All right. I got a number.
He's got a lot going on here. Interesting.
I'm not even sure what to make of this guy, but he's been around forever.
All right. I've got a number.
Nash, you got a number?
19 million.
19. I've got 31. Al?
20.
Oh, we are all over the place. Okay. Let's pull this up. Joe Pantoliano has a net worth of, $8 million.
Oh, dang. Robbie.
Nash gets it by only overshooting by $11 million. Oh, he was in The Sopranos, La Bamba, Matrix, Memento, Goonies.
Head cut off and put in a bowling bag.
Risky Business. Oh, that's right. Damn it. Okay, Yaphet Kotto. That guy's awesome, or he was awesome. Aliens, or Alien, the first one. What else do you know?
Okay, he has been in Live and Let Die.
Yeah,
Alien.
Bond.
Running Man. Brubaker.
The Running Man. I forgot about the Running Man.
He was terrible, man.
Oh my God.
Brubaker. It looks like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
The later ones.
Yeah.
I'm skipping over a lot of ones I've never heard of.
Good God. Yaphet Kotto.
5-card stud. The Thomas Crown Affair in 1968.
All right. I have a number. Al, do you have one?
Yep.
What do you got?
6.
I've got 7. Rob?
I went to 11.
He had to be lower than Joey Pants. Yaphet Kotto had a net worth of $5 million. Ooh. Allison gets it. Damn. I almost went lower, but I didn't. Shit. All right, John Ashton. Yeah, he was also in Beverly Hills Cop. Ooh, is he not in here?
Some Kind of Wonderful.
We may have to make an audible here. I don't see him.
Al, you got that last one right?
She's having a baby. Yeah.
We got to change it. He's not in the celebrity net worth.
Is there the other tool that you used?
I don't know.
Another one?
I can try to find it.
Has everybody written something down?
No.
I thought I looked up his name and there was a line that allowed me to click on net worth, but I didn't do it.
No.
If you believe that.
Let's do something else. So I saw the. Well, it's a very wide estimate. Let's do somebody else. How about
Farina?
No. Yes. Didn't we do Farina? We did Farina and Snatch, but who cares? Let's do Dennis Farina. Yep. Farina. Okay. Chicago Cop. Snatch. And this.
Get Shorty, Crime Story. 20 years of Law and Order.
All right. Oh, God almighty.
Oh, Law and Order.
Ryan.
All right. I got a number for.
I got a number.
Farina. Al, what do you have?
20 million.
I have 18. Rob?
No. 12.
Dennis Farina has a net worth of $8 million.
Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Both of the ones that Rob has gotten, the real number was 8.
Interesting.
Conspiracy. Okay. Bob De Niro.
This is so crazy always.
Scorsese was the one that we drastically underbid, right?
And that I drastically
not by $2 billion.
You over
or whatever.
No, yeah. George Lucas was the one that we got. We were off by $6 billion. But yeah, Scorsese was the one that you over. You did 900. You did $1 billion.
I did like 650 million, and it was like 125 million or something like that. The original large miss until we got to Spielberg and George Lucas.
Right. All right. I have a number. I cannot remember. We just did.
I don't know this stuff. I have no idea.
We did this on the Goodfellas podcast.
I know. I can't remember.
Rob, what's your number?
159 million.
Shit.
I said 250.
I said 225. Shit. Because he's got that Tribeca.
I know. That's why I said 250. Oh, God. I almost said this number too. Robert De Niro has a net worth of $500 million.
Get the fuck out of here.
Whoa.
I said 250 and I was halfway there.
What?
That's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money.
Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Godfather 2.
Yeah, but none of those are big movies. We just talked about this.
But it's the producer and director stuff.
Does he also have restaurant money? Is he?
Was Tribeca his?
Well, I gotta for Meet the Parents and all that. He's had ownership of every movie he's done in the last 20 years for sure.
Oh, here we go. De Niro says he'll be lucky to earn $7 million this year due to coronavirus.
Oh.
Taking a big bite of his usual income, particularly on his investments in New York, the restaurant chain Nobu.
That's what I thought.
And the Greenwich Hotel. He's got investments, what have you. Fucking hell. Okay, Charles Grodin. This is going to be a tough.
Yeah. He's got.
I did look at his credits, and this man
has been in a couple movies.
Acted from 1954 until like 2019 or something.
Got that Beethoven money?
He's got Clifford money.
Oh my God. Muppets Take Manhattan?
No,
Caper.
Caper.
Damn it.
Greatest one. It's the best one.
I saw it in the theater.
Oh my God, the boys have discovered the Muppets. It's insanity.
Have you had them watch Muppet Caper?
Yes, I think so. Did you see Keegan-Michael Key on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, with the Muppet? Yeah.
With the Muppet critics, and it was the greatest thing ever.
It was really good.
It was very good.
Grodin was in Dave, right?
Yes, he was the accountant friend.
He's always an accountant.
He was also in So I Married an Ex-Murderer. He was
well, he was in The Heartbreak Kid.
Right.
But he was in the Heartbreak. It's funny because he was in The Heartbreak Kid, which was a huge hit, and then Heaven Can Wait, which was a massive flop. And then he was also in Ishtar, a massive flop.
Ishtar.
So he's like a strange like touchstone.
I don't know where to put this guy.
I have a really weird number.
I don't know what to do with this guy.
Did he do like talk, like any sort of like news or talk?
He did a
show or something.
He did a talk show, didn't he? Nash. He did.
He did.
Was it his own show or was he just filling in? I forget. I think he had his own. Yeah, I have a number. I could be. I expect to be wildly off. My number is 44.
Jesus, I wrote 45.
Fuck. Nash.
Oh, I'm really. Can I tell you that I started at 79 and I dropped it to 29.
Wow.
Is that your number?
29?
Yeah, 29. I wrote it down. I got to be honest.
Charles Grodin has a net worth of $12 million.
Oh.
Or had a net worth of $12 million.
Wow.
Rob takes it 3-1-1, not even close.
That's a story unto itself.
I thought about going low because all of his credits are so long ago. Like it's 60s, it's 70s.
It just feels like he didn't get paid a lot for all of those parts. Like it just, I guess nothing was that big of a blockbuster where he was the lead.
No, he didn't have
Beethoven.
Those. Yeah, Beethoven.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. He didn't get $70 million for that movie.
No.
He wasn't Han Solo in some movie somewhere.
No.
All right. Well,
I will say, if you love Charles Grodin, just go find Real Life.
I know. You and Michelle have both talked about it. I need.
The whole premise is preposterous, and like if you just laugh at the premise, you'll laugh at every other scene.
Okay, good.
It's great. When he died, I bought it or rented it on whatever service.
Did you watch it?
Not recently. I got that, and I got what's the Lost in America. I got that one too.
Oh, I mean, that's his probably like quintessential performance, which is, he's very good.
Yeah. All right, Midnight Run. It's super under the radar, but everyone should see it, and everybody likes it apparently.
And it holds up.
It totally holds up.
Very good. Very good.
All right, Rob.
Well, like I said, I was surprised by how much better I held it in high esteem, and I watched it and was like, wow, this is better than I even remembered.
I know. It's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yes.
What are we doing?
We've got some important ones coming up that I'm going to need your involvement on.
All righty then.
Heat. We got to make a date for in-person Heat.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Got to be in person. We got to do Shawshank in person.
Yeah.
I don't even think we should do it. I gotta be honest.
We had this conversation. I feel that way about The Godfather. I don't know if we can handle it. I think it's
probably that too. But like the overall feeling of the whole movie can't be really broken down. Good.
Yeah, there's that.
There's so much to talk about there.
Tommy Boy is on the list.
Yeah, Stripes was
not even that.
Stripes.
Come on.
Dude, we're doing them. People need our insight.
Yes, this is a good one though. Like I said,
yeah, this was fun to do. One that I have not seen in a long time.
That's good.
And bring it back. That's been fun.
I mean, so Ray had never seen it, and she was watching it with me, and she's like, "Well, this is kind of simple." I'm like, "Yeah, but like you got to watch the scene, then watch the two talking. Like that's the whole point." And that, you ever think about lung cancer, Jack? Like, you ever got a chest X-ray, Jack? Like, it was so good. It was so good that throughout the whole rest of the movie, she was like, "Yeah, he's funny. He's very funny."
I think it gets better after the third watch, fourth watch. It gets better and better. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Well, I think you need to do like what we were talking about, where you can focus on the different characters while they're talking. So, like in the conversation, the first time you can watch De Niro and how he is going, and then the other you can watch Charles Grodin. Yeah, make his
eyes.
Fucking hell. All right.
All right.
Later.
See you guys.
All right. Bye, Robbie.